the most effective way of doing it that is actually practical and like you mentioned, people that want to become product managers can act on is by working on a personal project that you're really passionate about and you really want to bring that to the market. It doesn't you don't even have to monetize it if it's something that's a hobby of yours and you really nowadays with all the tools that we have available, you don't even need to code your app, right? You can just build something that is relatively functional and bring it to the market and go from that ideation to execution, because that's something that again is product management 101. And if we can really do that, everything else doesn't really matter, right? It's about, we've interviewed so many product managers that, they're very qualified, have years of experience, but when it comes down to the challenge that we give them, you can see that they cannot follow that. The ideas, the success metrics, the things kind of become obvious that they haven't really done that process, that iteration over and over again. And you're absolutely right. Like with product management, the one thing I've been looking for in a lot of organizations, Shopify and Google, we're looking for is like, how many products have you shipped, right? What kind of experience do you have? How many features have you brought to the market? Because at the end of the day, it's not something that you can learn on the job, because that can be really costly to the company, right? It's about getting engineers to spend all these hours on a feature that you think is going to have value. If you don't identify the right problem to solve and solve it in the right way, that can be really costly for the company. So the best way to do it is like, work on a project that you think you're really passionate about it, and that's something that our junior product manager did too. Like as a software engineer, well, she had an advantage. She already knew a little bit of coding, so she rapidly prototype an idea that she had, and she could bring that, added it to Product Hunt, and did really well. Got a lot of users. But even if you don't have that programming knowledge, you can still, prototype something that use one of the tools that are out there that allow you to drag and drop components, build them in a mobile app, and just going through that process of ideation, designing it, and bringing it to market and getting users and talking to users and getting their feedback is that might cost you around $200 to $500, but is really valuable and something that the best way to do it is by actually doing it. And that has worked really well for the people that I've talked to. But again, if that's not something that is possible, and you're looking for other ways of doing it, being a subject matter expert is also another way of becoming a subject matter expert in the field. Is also another way of getting into and breaking into product management. The previous company that I was working at, Finance It, is a financial technology company. And even though I had the product management experience, I didn't have the knowledge in the financial industry per se. So at the end of the day, I think, we had other product managers there that they didn't have any product management experience, but they had a lot of domain knowledge in that area. And they could kind of, offset that skill with the other skills that they needed. They put on a lot of work on the designers and developers to do a lot of things. But as they were doing that, they were kind of learning about the product management side of things and how you successfully manage a product. So those are two main options that I think are very effective. The third one is kind of something that how I got into product management, which is, I wouldn't say it's realistic because it doesn't really happen often. Or just at was the right company at the right time with the right set of partners that I was working at. So at Shopify, I managed essentially our startups program. I work with all these startups that they're developing different applications for Shopify's App Store, and I got to do a lot of experimentation and fail over and over again with all of these startups until I got it right. With the ones that I work with at the end, and they did really well. Became top four apps in 4 different categories: accounting, marketing, and social media, and visual marketing. But at the end of the day, that was, again, my way of doing it was the same thing, like doing it over and over again, failing, learning, going back, iterating until you get it right. and working on your favorite and personal projects and bringing those to market is the most effective and fastest way to do it, I would say.